Oh, yes. Count Chocula, in spite of his ever so many fun themed serial attempts at finding companionship, was ever so terribly lonely. Children ran away at the very sight of him. Wasn't that strange for somebody who proffered such a deliciously anti nutritious foodstuff for the masses? Oh, but it gets worse. Women saw him as a self parody of some other count. Perhaps one that counted numbers out loud and was not afraid of people seeing him do so. Counting from 1 to 10 ever so slowly, self satisfyingly, while the passers by caught him playing with his organ at the same time. Ah, the latter of those two possibilities certainly applied to Count Chocula, the former not so much. Ah, except for those damn serial executives counting their money. He had to lock them out of the castle when he wasn't feeling up to discussing business. Oh, but he needed it. That damn cereal. It was quite literally his lifeblood. Oh, he was no Count Dracula. He could not just sink his fangs into another human being, if he could even be called one, and suck out cereal. Oh, whatever was the use in keeping himself unalive? Chocolate and garlic do not mix. Was it so surprising that the very sight and smell of it could cause him such excruciating pain? Oh, and yet with such handsome dimples, bright brown eyes that dazzled even in the dark, and more or less chocolate chips for hair. Wouldn't somebody see him as a better half? A marshmallow lady, a coffee themed female, perhaps a milkmaid who could keep him ever so crunchy even when he was in one of those moods. He could, at least as a cereal themed vampire, suckle the milk out of her. Count Chocula was just about to hammer a stake through his cold cocoa heart when the doorbell rang. Far too depressed and malaise to get up and answer it himself, he transformed into a grade Z flavored flying fudge sickle, or really a chocolate bat, and flew right up to the keyhole, staring on in. Oh, bloody heck. It was General Mills, the CEO himself, in actual general's attire. Well, it certainly wasn't Captain Crunch. He'd become used to seeing Count Chocula as a shell of a man, one might say. Count Chocula returned to his normal shape and structure and tapped the latch that lifted the portcullis. Oh, my dear Count, I fear that we really must do something about your state of affairs. One would expect that such a wealthy and elegant bachelor of such fine estate would have found true love or friendship somewhere along these. Ah, General Mills blushed like a crunchberry on the good Count's behalf. Centuries, he croaked. Yes, my good general, but as you know, the local town people see me as a fudsicle freak at best, and as a... Count Chocula began to sob. A... a monster at worst! Now, my dear Count. Count Chocula's boss, friend, partner, whatever, attempted to console him. Even with your, limitations, which aren't your fault, certainly. Mills wondered if he went a little too far. He checked the Count's expression to see that they were still on good terms. Of course they were. They, needed each other. And even if you find yourself lumped in with the yummy mummy and blueberry ghost, there's always the fruit brute. Ha! Nobody likes him. Nobody likes him? Count Chocula whispered, hurt but optimistic. My good general, you have inspired me, like when one cereal flavor inspires another cereal flavor to produce a brand new cereal mix. Haha, yes, that's the idea. I'll call marketing. I knew I could count on you, Count. After Mills's departure, Chocula went batty again, then reverted to vampire form, checking himself in the mirror. Ah! He had forgotten that he couldn't stare into the mirror. He let out a scream. The pain was unbearable, but he did not have 10, 20, 30, or 50 years to sleep it off, no matter his true age. No. Later that night, the doorbell rang. The text message had been received. The fruit brute had arrived. Oh, he smelled like molten feces blended with artificial fruit flavor of a cereal box left unopened for 30 or 45 years, which was not far from the truth of the matter, of what he actually was. Really? I'm a werewolf, the fruit brute screamed, fur patched with exposed and scarred skin patches, truly kept frizzled and unkempt. It took much restraining for the noble count not to roll his eyes. Indeed you are, but you are no fruit brute. It is a cruel and sarcastic name given you by our enemies. Much like my birth name is certainly not the Count Chocula. Ruiz? Fruit Brute gritted his teeth in happiness. Yes, this is how he reacted when he was in a good mood, because he felt that Count Chocula truly understood his pain, unlike everybody else. A pain much like, say, hammering a fruit covered nail repeatedly if nobody liked you. The two whispered, despite nobody being around. They finalized the plan, and at the stroke of midnight, it was unleashed on the town. Running around town, the Count is a fudge bat, sometimes flying and other times being his usual undead self, joining the fruit brute and committing random acts of crime and terror. Tipping cows, transforming chocolate fructose circles into rocks and heaving it through civilians' windows, and yelling and screaming through a megaphone how he had come to suck their blood while the bewildered adults thrust open their front doors and the fruit brute smashed and pounded them to a death that wasn't actually the diabetic coma from ingesting his infamous food stuff this time. Everybody who caught a glimpse before their untimely demise either stared or screamed. The serial vampire had become a serial killer. All of those years in which he had taken cold, hard looks at himself, and all he had seen was a coward up until that point. But now he had a partner in crime, a friend. However, what truly did him in was ever so ironic. It was the long-time companion that he had never seen as a real human friend, because he was a spider. Igor the Spider, who had been seen by his side in many an advertisement. But now, in each of the spider's 8 fuzzy appendages, he held a marshmallow cross, and although one would have been enough, he needed to make sure that the job was done for the sake of the town. Sobbing in spidery rejection, he sunk in and waved his could have been wooden weapons as the shocking truth and betrayal caught Count Chocula and his unrivalable slackjaw off guard. He had learned a valuable lesson before losing consciousness for the final time, instantly losing his capacity to retain it. Our story, some might say, ends with a sweet spin of fate, as the surviving townsfolk toss Count Chocula's corpse into a big bowl of milk with the lactose drowned fruit brute. Gerald Mills could even be seen in the background stroking a pile of $100 bills in his hands, anticipating the international renown of Croot Chocufruit. Perhaps he could get that Dr. Frankenstein monster befriended to clone some of the remnants of their corpses. So that supply of this new fascinating cereal would continue to meet demand forever. Now, this may not be the conclusion you craved, but the same can be said when you fill your body with fake food instead of actual sustenance and spike your insulin levels. Hey, no need to get soggy.